What does the Bible say about thankfulness or gratitude? Thankfulness is a prominent Bible theme. 1 Thessalonians 5 verses 16 through 18 says, "Be joyful always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." Did you catch that? Give thanks in all circumstances. Thankfulness should be a way of life for us, naturally flowing from our hearts and mouths. Digging into the Scriptures a little more deeply, we understand why we should be thankful, and also how to have gratitude in different circumstances. Psalm 136 verse 6 says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His love endures forever." Here we have two reasons to be thankful: God's constant goodness and His steadfast love. When we recognize the nature of our depravity and understand that apart from God there is only death, John 10 verse 10, our natural response is to be grateful for the life He gives. Psalm 30 gives praise to God for His deliverance. David writes, "I will exalt you, O Lord, for you lifted me out of the depths and did not let my enemies gloat over me. O Lord my God, I called to you for help, and you healed me. O Lord, you brought me up out of the grave. You spared me from going down into the pit. You turned my wailing into dancing. You removed my sackcloth and clothed me with joy, that my heart may sing to you and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give you thanks forever." Psalm 30 verses 1 through 12. Here David gives thanks to God following an obviously difficult circumstance. This psalm of thanksgiving not only praises God in the moment, but remembers God's past faithfulness. It is a statement of God's character, which is so wonderful that praise is the only appropriate response. We also have examples of being thankful in the midst of hard circumstances. Psalm 28, for example, depicts David's distress. It is a cry to God for mercy, protection, and justice. After David cries out to God, he writes, "Praise be to the Lord, for He has heard my cry for mercy. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in Him, and I am helped. My heart leaps for joy, and I will give thanks to Him in song." Psalm 28, verses 6 and 7. In the midst of hardship, David remembers who God is, and, as a result of knowing and trusting God, gives thanks. Job had a similar attitude of praise even in the face of death. "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." Job 1 verse 21. There are examples of believers' thankfulness in the New Testament as well. Paul was heavily persecuted, yet he wrote, "Thanks be to God, who always leads us in triumphal procession in Christ, and through us spreads everywhere the fragrance of the knowledge of Him." 2 Corinthians 2 verse 14. The writer of Hebrews says, "Therefore, since we are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, let us be thankful, and so worship God acceptably with reverence and awe." Hebrews 12 verse 28. Peter gives a reason to be thankful for grief and all kinds of trials, saying that through hardships our faith may be proved genuine and may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. 1 Peter 1 verses 6 and 7. The people of God are thankful people, for they realize how much they have been given. One of the characteristics of the last days is a lack of thanksgiving. According to 2 Timothy 3 verse 2, wicked people will be ungrateful. We should be thankful because God is worthy of our thanksgiving. It is only right to credit Him for every good and perfect gift He gives. James 1 verse 17. When we are thankful, our focus moves off of selfish desires and off the pain of current circumstances. Expressing thankfulness helps us remember that God is in control. Thankfulness then is not only appropriate, it is actually healthy and beneficial to us. It reminds us of the bigger picture, that we belong to God, and that we have been blessed with every spiritual blessing. Ephesians 1 verse 3. Truly we have an abundant life, and gratefulness is fitting.